Versions of the Bugatti Chiron. Let's take an in-depth look at all the versions of the Bugatti Chiron available on the market. Breaking news! According to Bugatti, as of January 2022, all of its Chiron models have been sold. Is this the end of one of the world's most exclusive cars? Relax folks, there's still plenty of time for Bugatti to build its top models of the Chiron, but all orders have been filled. So there are some very lucky people out there, as this car will just appreciate in value over the years. 1. Chiron. Let's start with the standard model. The Bugatti Chiron was unveiled at the 2016 Geneva Motor Show. With an already aging Veyron, the Chiron took over to become Bugatti's new flagship model. But not only that, the brand engineers took the Veyron's massive 8-litre quad-turbo W16 engine and carried out an extensive overhaul. After modifying the ECU and a subtle tweak to the engine block and cylinder heads, they managed to push this gem to develop 1,479 horsepower and 1,600 Newton-meters of torque. With the heart of the beast ready, a 7-speed dual-clutch sequential gearbox and 4-wheel drive were fitted. It is worth noting that both the engine and mechanical components are made of lightweight and strong materials to withstand the high speeds at which the Chiron travels. Above the powertrain rests a beautifully sculpted carbon fiber and titanium bodywork. The artwork from the hands of craftsmen and designers brought back from racing cars have made the most of every nook and cranny of the car. Every shape, every fin, and every silhouette is designed to improve cooling, downforce, and drag reduction. For example, the air intake and the shape of the Chiron's front end allows 60,000 liters of air per minute to be pumped, and 800 liters of water circulates per minute directly and around the engine to keep it cool, so it will run at its best performance. It even has a total of 10 radiators, with the catalytic converter being a masterpiece of engineering, having a surface area of 30 football pitches. It's just out of our minds. On the other hand, the homologated fuel consumption of this beast is 22.34 liters per 100 kilometers. In English, that's around 11 miles per gallon, and it is certified in the G emissions category. The interior offers nothing but comfort, luxury, and attention to detail, with exquisite materials such as Italian leather and polished aluminium trim. So passengers will feel the 0 to 60 acceleration in 2.4 seconds and reach a top speed of 261 miles per hour. Sadly, all 200 units of the base model were sold for £2 million each, and Bugatti is no longer accepting new orders. What is certain is that the Chiron, like the Veyron, will remain with us until the arrival of its successor. 2. Chiron Sport. Let's go back in time to the 2018 Geneva Motor Show, where Bugatti unveiled the first variant of the Chiron, the Chiron Sport. The brand's initial intention was to bring a sporty version of the Chiron, if it wasn't already that sporty, to those enthusiasts willing to pay £2.5 million to drive one of these on a racetrack. The first difference from the standard model is in its weight, some 18 kilograms lighter. A reinforced chassis and a diet of carbon fiber add structural rigidity and lightness to the car. We're talking about everything from the windscreen wipers to the 4 exhausts are made of carbon fiber. The suspensions were optimized for a better race car feel, stiffening the dampers by 10%. As a bonus, the Sport features an optimized rear differential and torque vectoring that makes it take the tightest corners precisely and without losing speed. Comfort is not left behind. Inside the cabin, the interior is trimmed in Alcantara, premium leather, and carbon fiber. The seats, in addition to being functional for track use, offer the comfort of the base version. On the technical side of things, there is still the massive 8-litre, 1,479 horsepower W16 quad-turbocharged engine. The lighter weight makes the Sport go from 0 to 60 in 2.3 seconds, 1/10 of a second faster than the standard version, and top speed of 261 miles per hour. Fuel consumption and emissions figures are exactly the same as the standard Chiron. Oh, and to make it clear that this is the sports version, the car is painted in a fine racing red, and a huge number 16 adorns the front grille as a reminder of the 16-cylinder engine. 3. Chiron Sport 110 Anniversary. To celebrate the brand's 110th anniversary, some 20 units of the Chiron Sport were earmarked to present the Chiron Sport 110 anniversary. The brand intended to pay tribute to its founding father, Ettore Bugatti, who in 1909 founded a company that, at the time, was a sensation in the world of racing. The Sport 110 anniversary was unveiled in 2019 as a tribute on wheels to the heritage of Ettore Bugatti and the French motorsport tradition. The carbon fiber bodywork has a blue finish that contrasts well with the black of the fiber. The tricolor flag of France is visible on almost every corner of the car, especially on the rear wing. In addition, sandblasted commemorative plaques can be found on the sides of the car. In its interior, there is a display of ornaments and commemorations of the 110 years of the brand. It is entirely covered in soft blue leather. The door frames, side panels and seat areas are lined in fine Alcantara. As a contrast, French racing blue makes its presence felt on the seats and other cabin fittings. For £2.5 million and annual insurance premiums of £38,455, this limited edition tribute to 110 years of Bugatti is the dream car that any fan of the brand would want to own. Before we continue, I invite you to like this video and subscribe to the channel so we can bring you more content related to the world of motorsport. Do you want to see more video? After this short stop, let's meet the version of the Chiron that flies through the skies. 4. Bugatti Sport Les Légendes du Ciel. Translated as the Legends of the Sky, this version of the Sport was made in memory of those French racing pilots who also flew for the French Air Force. This version was limited to 20 units and sold for £2.2 million. According to Bugatti's official website, Les Légendes du Ciel is a celebration to the memory of Roland Garros, Albert Divo, and Louis Biello, among others. They took a Chiron Sport painted in gris serpent, a color that emulates the metallic finish of early 20th century aircraft, to which they painted a central racing line. The front end has a functional wing that emulates the wings of the Nieuport 17 biplane that many of those pilots flew. The front grille was changed to place the aircraft pattern in parade formation. 2 French flags complete the external decoration. As an extra, the roof of this version can be ordered in glass for a panoramic view from the cockpit. The interior is covered in Gouache brown leather and polished metal trim, with the Les Légendes du Ciel emblem indicating the unit number. Beyond being a cosmetic version, the Sport Les Légendes du Ciel is a well-deserved tribute to those who conquered the Grand Prix of the early 20th century aboard a Bugatti. 5. Chiron Pur Sport. The Pur Sport goes a little further where the Sport reaches its limits. With 60 units planned for production and an asking price of £2.8 million, let's see what's new. The gearbox was tuned to have a shorter gear ratio, 15% shorter than the Sport, and raised the speed limit to 6,900 RPM. The suspensions were again optimized. The front ones are 65% firmer and the rear ones 33% firmer, which, according to Bugatti, do not affect ride comfort and deliver even more of a sporty Grand Tourer feel. To complement this, new carbon fiber anti-roll bars were installed for added rigidity. These simple modifications mean the Pur Sport maintains greater cornering speed and maintains momentum on corner exit. In addition, a further 50 kilograms weight reduction makes it lighter and more agile on the track. How did they achieve this? Well, by using Alcantara throughout most of the cabin, replacing the exhaust with a 3D printed titanium exhaust, a new set of 35% lighter wheels than the Sport, and eliminating the pneumatic actuators on the new rear wing. The Pur Sport includes electric aids, such as Sport Plus, which offers traction control and cornering stability control. Although it has a top speed of 217 miles per hour and accelerates from 0 to 60 in 2.4 seconds, this version is meant to be enjoyed on the racetrack. 6. Chiron Super Sport 300 Plus. At Bugatti, they take speed records very seriously. It's part of their identity to be the fastest and most luxurious on the planet. With the competition launching production models with speeds of nearly 215 miles per hour, Bugatti didn't sit idly by. So they took an extensively modified Chiron Sport. Every part, every bolt, and every detail was checked before the prototype was launched. That's how, on August 2nd, 2019, the Super Sport 300 Plus broke the 300 mph speed barrier for a car. The prototype reached an accurate speed of 304.773 mph. This achievement took it to 30 production units, each sold for an astonishing £4 million. But stop right there. Did you think Bugatti would sell 300 plus mph cars to the public? Yeah, right. Although the engine has 100 more horsepower than the standard Chiron, each unit is electronically limited for the safety of its customers. But if after signing a strict cease and desist agreement and paying for the installation of a roll cage, it is possible to reach 300 mph on the Eralessian test track. 7. Chiron Super Sport. After achieving the speed record with the Super Sport 300 Plus, Bugatti wanted to give its most exclusive customers a limited series that combines the power of the SS 300 Plus with the luxury that characterizes the brand. Let's take a look at some of the technical data for a moment. The engine is still the enormous 8-litre quad-turbo W16 with 1,479 horsepower, from 0 to 60 in 2.4 seconds, sequential transmission, and four-wheel drive, all in keeping with the Chiron. But what about the top speed? Well, before we get there, we'd better take a look at the design of this car. If we look at the rear, the now upright exhausts give space to the diffuser designed to give aerodynamic stability at high speeds. The front suspensions were strengthened, and the chassis received a thorough overhaul to tolerate speeds of 200 mph. For this model, custom-made Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2 tires were used, which were X-rayed to ensure that there was not the slightest irregularity. The tires also have a carbon fiber casing to cope with the enormous forces they'll be subjected to, which is why they were tested on an aircraft test rig. Inside, it is difficult to find any differences from a standard Chiron, except for the dashboard. While in the standard Chiron, the red line is at around 6,700 RPM, in the Super Sport, this limit rises to 7,100 RPM. All this attention to detail at the OCD level means that the Chiron Super Sport reaches a mind-blowing 271 mph on a single tank of petrol. Only 9 units were produced and sold for £2.75 million, because driving in the fastest and most luxurious car in the world is exclusive. 8. Chiron Edition Noire. To close the catalogue, we have the Edition Noire of the Chiron. Inspired by the work done with La Voiture Noire, Bugatti took 20 of their Chiron Sport and removed all traces of paint different from black. This edition comes in 2 versions. The Edition Noire Sportive, with a matte black paint coat, black interior, and the same features as the Chiron Sport. The Edition Noire Elegance uses the same type of paint as La Voiture Noire, exposed carbon fiber with a protective coating, and black detailing on the wheels. At £2.5 million, the Chiron Edition Noire could be considered the economy version of La Voiture Noire. But wait, I hear you say, what about the others? These 8 variants of the Chiron were not the only ones available for sale. In fact, several other models share the Chiron's platform that, with the magic of the coach builders, became true pieces of art.
Check out this video here to find out why these cars weren't added.